Hello, this is Watch It All About, and here we are with another watch review. This time we're looking at the Christopher Ward C900 Worldtimer, which currently costs $1,575. So although it's not an affordable watch, I believe that what it does offer makes it affordable compared to the other available watches which offer the same thing. So I do believe that Christopher Ward do great watches for great prices, so let's have a closer look and see if this is the case with the C900 as well. So first of all, what you're getting is a modified ETA movement, which obviously is going to cost you a lot no matter what, especially with a custom-made module. In this instance, it's by Johannes Janker, and this is his third custom modified movement with Christopher Ward, hence the reason why this movement is called the JJ03 caliber. And the main principle behind it is that it offers a second time zone in a new, unique way, because usually GMT watches work a certain way, but this is a completely new way of working. So it's quite interesting to find out a bit more how it works. So I'll just take it off. We'll have a closer look at the dial. So first things first, the main thing to realise is that the hour hand has been re-geared so that it only goes around the watch face once a day rather than twice a day. So you see we have the 24 hours around the face. So currently, although it looks like it's saying, about 17 minutes past 8. If you notice that our hand is looking at, is pointing at 16, so it's actually 17 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. At first, this can be very awkward to get used to, and in time it does get better. You learn to have a glance at the hour that the hand is pointing to, but it's still, even with wearing it for a while, it's still a case of you can't just have a very quick glance at the watch to see what the time is, because obviously every single other watch works in the usual 12-hour per dial rotation. So to completely change the way you glance at watches is quite a big deal for most of us. So that is quite an important aspect to find out, especially if you are seriously considering this watch as an everyday watch. So that's the local time, is your normal hours and hours and minutes hand, and then we have the second time zone, which is this red hour hand, which can be set independently. We'll have a look at that now. So if you pull it out to the crown out to the second position, you can set the local time just like that. And then if you have it on the first position, so I'll just pull it out to the first position, you can rotate this crown both ways and they both do something different. So let's have a look firstly at doing it clockwise. So if I turn it away from me, you'll see that it advances the second time zone an hour at a time, and the hour hand snaps, which is in relation to the minute hand as well, which is quite a good feature. So say I'm going somewhere where the time is plus 2 hours from my local time zone. I want to put it over here to 1800, and then you turn it anti-clockwise to change the time zone indicator, so you can remember where you are. So as you'll see, the disc at the top will change, and also the dot showing you where your time zone is, which is a very, very neat feature, which is obviously pretty much the main feature of the watch, having this the world with all the various time zones. So yes, that's the way that the movement works. It is very unique in the way it does it, but it also is a great talking point. And the fact that you're getting a custom modified movement at this price is quite impressive, because if you think about the time of research and developing the module, it would have taken a lot of time and effort and money to develop it. So it's pretty good. So the movement is based on ETA 2893. So with that, you have all the usual specs. So it runs at 28.8 thousand beats an hour. So you get 8 ticks a second, which is a nice smooth movement on the second hand. No juttering or stuttering at all. It's automatic with a custom rotor, sorry. As you can see, Christopher Ward rotor. And it's hackable and hand wind. You can hand wind it as well. So that's the main specs for the movement. Okay, so let's move on then and have a look at the actual face itself. We can look into it a bit more when I get the macro lens on, but for now I'll get as close as possible. So you'll notice that the C has this bobbly blue finish to it, which is very, very nice. Very subtle, but gives the dial a sense of depth, especially when it's coupled with the raised land as well, which is this very nice silvery, elegant colour. The finishing on the dial is spot on as well, and the accuracy to do all of this is very impressive. So that's the centre of the dial. Every time zone indicator is countersunk as well, with a nice polished surround to it, giving everything a nice finish. You also have these two plaques with the logo at the top, and then caliber JJ03, the caliber of the movement, and then 24:2 Worldtimer, which means it has two separate 24-hour time zone indicator. The plaques are very nice. As you can see, they're absolutely flawless, and the printing is perfect and applied very nicely as well. So surrounding the globe, you have this running hour track split into day and night. The colour matches the centre as well. You have the silver at the bottom and the blue at the top. Again, not too brash to make the watch look cheap, but it looks nice and elegant. And then surrounding that on a lower level, you have a running minute track as well, with every 5 minutes you have a small number, and then Swiss made right at the bottom. So it is very complex, this style, and it looks fantastic to the eye. It is very impressive how they've done this in such a way, keeping the price at this price point, because the finishing of it you'd expect on a watch costing many thousands of pounds. One thing I forgot to mention was the hands as well. So you'll see they're polished stainless steel, and I love how long they are as well. The second hand pretty much goes right up to the edge of the dial, and also the minute hand as well. And then the 2 hour hands come up nicely to the centre of the inside of the hour track. So that's a nice design cue. But they are perfectly finished as well, and they're nice and elegant how long and thin they are. But it doesn't mean that it's hard to read, because they do stand out from the dial quite well, which is good. Okay, so let's move on to the case itself then. It is quite a big watch. It comes in at 43mm in diameter, so it's definitely not a small watch, especially for a dress watch. It is quite large. 51mm lug to lug, right at the top, right to the bottom, and then 12.05mm deep as well. So it is a reasonably large watch, but something that does go in favour with it is this very sharp angled lug shape. So if you do have a reasonably small wrist, these will help it to fit around your wrist. If you can have a look at mine, I'm 7.5 inches, and it fits me just right. You might be able to get away with it if you have a slightly smaller wrist, but for me, I think it fits perfectly fine. Some people don't like to have a very big watch for a dress watch, but the amount of detailing on the dial, I don't think you would have been able to really fit it in anything any smaller. So yes, so if we just have a look at the finishing, you'll notice the bezel is all polished, as well as the top of the lugs. So the whole top section of the case is polished stainless steel, and then the sides are brushed, and then the case back is all polished as well. So if we have a look at the case back, you'll see rather than being a screw-in case back, it's actually secured by 6 small screws. And also around the exhibition window you have the various time zones which are available for the movement. Now, one thing I personally think would have been a good idea is to actually include the plus or minus GMT hour difference along with these, because if you are going somewhere, then it would have been quite nice just to have a quick referral to the back of this case to know how much you need to alter the movement by. So it's a shame that they missed that out, but it's still a nice touch to have these on the case back, that everything's nice and deeply engraved, and it's filled in with black ink perfectly as well, so that's good. Okay, so the crown is polished. Let's try and focus on that. Crown is polished with a thin grip, but it is very it does a good job of allowing you to grip the crown well. And also you'll notice that there's a very slight indentation underneath and above, which helps you pull out the crown, which is always handy, so that's good. So the crown is very nicely finished as well. Oh, the sun's actually coming out, that's quite nice. Atop the case is a sapphire crystal. It has only one layer of anti-reflective coating, that's on the underside, but it does do a very good job of removing any reflections. I'm sure you'll see, there we go, slight blue hue to it when you get the sun just right, which does give this watch a very expensive feeling. Obviously it is expensive, but it just adds to the nice quality luxury feeling of the watch. So that's good. I also believe it's a sapphire crystal on the case back as well, which is always good. So you know that they're not going to scratch at all very easily. Okay, so let's move on to the strap. Now the strap is a certified alligator leather, and it's certified by CITES, which stands for the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. So you can be sure that the farming of the alligator leather was ethical, which is obviously always good. We definitely want to keep an eye on that. And this is from the strap is from Louisiana. So let me just I'll just drop the blinds quickly, because it is getting a bit bright in here. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks. Just asked someone to do that for me. Thank you very much. Okay, so the strap is a very nice deep blue. It's not too blue to be brash or tacky. It matches the blue of the dial very well. So it's a slightly darker blue of the leather, and then you have this very slightly lighter blue stitching, which again creates a small bit of contrast, but looks nice and keeps it interesting, which is very good. And then on the underside you have the usual tan colour, and then the blue stitching follows through, which also looks great as well. The quality of the leather is lovely. You can feel it with your hands, and you can tell the difference between standard leather. It's very, very soft, and it's also very, very comfortable to wear. So I do very much like this leather strap. So we also have this Bader clasp, which is patented. And you may ask what's different, because it looks just like a standard deployment clasp. Well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, the way the strap is held in You see we only have one nipple here, and that same nipple is used to not only hold the leather strap in place, but also to close the deployment clasp. So that's an important feature. And also the leather strap goes underneath the deployment clasp. So not only do you have minimal steel actually touching your wrist, as you can see there, because usually you'd have all of that section there touching your wrist, but the tail actually goes underneath rather than on top. So that also means you don't need to have any strap loops. And when you're wearing it, it does make quite a difference, because literally all you have there is that last visible section of the buckle of the strap, which is very nice. So you don't have the horrible flappy bit having to constantly put loops on it, because they always slip. So that's a very nice feature of it as well. One small problem with it, though, is because you don't have any loops and it's only secured using this one nipple, is that, as you can see there, it does have a tendency to wiggle a bit and twist. So when you're wearing it, sometimes it can end up, I mean, it's only a couple of millimeters, but it does have a tendency to move a bit like that. I haven't found it happens that often, but it is something that can happen. So just thought that was worthwhile mentioning. So the whole clasp is very nicely machined, as you'd expect from Bader, one of the leading manufacturers in clasps, in buckles. And you'll see on the head we have these two buttons which release the nipple either side, and the two edges are polished, and then in the center it's brushed with an engraved CW logo. Okay, so that's that. Let me just put the macro lens on and we can have a closer look. So let's start at the dial. Here you can see the plaque, which is very well made, very impressive precision used here. And there's the window, the aperture for the time zone, and you can see the finish and slight texture to the dial as well, which is very nice when you look at it. All the printing is flawless. And now let's have a look at the Bobbly C. Again, very well made. There's one of the time zone indicators there. All of the land is very impressively applied on top of the dial as well, and painted. So you are getting a very impressive dial for the money. And if you see the hands as well, they're all flawless, as you'd expect. The polished finish. And here's the other plaque at the bottom, with perfect printing on top. And then you'll see Swiss made just at the bottom there. So yeah, the dial is very intricate, and they've done an excellent job in executing it. Okay, so let's move on to the case now. So the crown, you'll see, is very nicely finished, and you have CW logo embossed on the end, nice and deep. And then we have the finishing on the case. The brushed finishing is very impressive and uniform. And the polished finishing is also very mirror-like. There we go. This is the case back now. You can see the screws there, And then let's just get a quick look in at the movement. So this is the custom rotor with the Christopher Ward logo painted onto it. Let's just give the case back a bit of a wipe. And then you should be able to see, it's quite hard to show you, but you should be able to see the ETA logo just down there. There we go. And the words 2893. So that proves that this the JJ03 caliber was built upon that movement. And as you would expect, the from an ETA movement, everything is flawless in there and looks nice. Okay, so just have a look at the strap now. The stitching is all very well done. You can see the finish of the leather as well. And then on the underside, just have a look at the stitching there. There we go. Okay, and then just the clasp to finish off. So that's the CW logo, very deeply engraved in the centre of it, and the brushed finish, and then also the polished edging on the button. Then if we open it up, you'll see underneath we have the nipple there, which holds the strap in place and secures the clasp together. And then we have the whole elbow inside is all polished. Okay. So that concludes our thorough in-depth review of the Christopher Ward C900 Worldtimer. For the price, I do think it's an impressive watch. You can just see the level of detail they've gone into the movement and also the dial as well. It is quite impressive what they've done for the price, especially when you think of the research and the amount of time and effort they've put into it before even releasing it. So, although £1.5 may seem quite a lot, I do think you're getting a lot of watch for the money. But saying that, because of the unusual way it works, it may not be someone's everyday watch unless they don't mind the different way of displaying the time. For me, I think that is the main question you need to ask yourself if you don't mind the 24-hour way of indicating the time. So apart from that, I do think it's a beautifully built watch, and it looks great on the wrist. You can see it does demand a lot of wrist presence, especially at the size that it is, and the colour and all the blue tones to it is very elegant, and it just looks great. Okay, so that concludes our review, and that's what it's all about.